Hello and welcome. I remain Joe Vika. Today, I want to address the Southeastern Governor of Nigeria in the person of distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma, Professor Charles Soludo, His Excellency Governor for Abia State, Dr. Lesoti, His Excellency the Governor of Enugu State, Peter Mbah, His Excellency Governor of Ebonyi State, Ifuru. Dear governors, with the continued insecurity that we've been witnessed all over the country, Nigeria, with the sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu, I want to request for your proactive action to reduce and curtail insecurity in the territory where you govern as Southeast. Before I delve into the crux of why I'm making this video, I want you guys to remember that Nnamdi Kanu may have been sentenced, but the effect or the product of Nnamdi Kanu is still prevalent, is still with us. You have to take into a retrospective view why Nnamdi Kanu emerged. It was as the result of the failure of the government that gave him the temerity to become what he is today. It is on record that more than 70% of the Igbos are falling behind him because he capitalized on your failure as a government to sell his market, and it was bought by so many people. So that particular failure is what you guys need to address. Because if you don't address why he emerged, another Nnamdi Kanu is bound to emerge. So what am I saying? It is your duty, it is your responsibility to protect life and property. But when you fail to do that, anybody can come up and decide and give hope to the people. And when people see hope, they clinch on it. Therefore, our dear governors, you have slept so much on your duty in terms of insecurity. I must commend you for so far you guys have done, both the governor of Imo and the governor of Anambra State, in curtailing the so-called Umuamas, the so-called Biafra Liberation Armies, having taken a very great measure to curtail and reduce their oppression. Because I want to believe this coming Christmas, many people will come home and sleep in their home and go back to wherever their destination might be. Because we have recorded a low turnout in insecurity. I mean, we have recorded a reduction of insecurity in Southeast. And that achievement wouldn't have been real if the government did not cooperate. So we sincerely want to thank you. But I want to tell you, it is not yet over. There are many work to be done. And if your best is not enough, that means you have done nothing. We want you to put more action into your words. Making sure that we don't have many type of people who will sell themselves as Messiah to the people because you failed to do what you're supposed to do. Now, look at what is happening in Benue State. Look at what is happening in Kwara State. Look at what is happening in Niger State. What have the governors do to stop that? The governor of Benue State, Governor Alia, openly in the television broadcast and said there was nothing like Christian genocide, though there is a misunderstanding. The life of people that have lost is being seen as just a mere misunderstanding, tribal clash. His predecessor, Governor Otom, cried every day on the national television, the genocide being committed in Benue State. The bishop, one of the bishops, a Catholic bishop in the same state, went and submitted some many reports in the United States. confirming the continued genocidal movement being made by a certain group against the people of the land. But the governor, who is the chief security officer, can only say there is nothing of such nature happening. It's just a mere communal clash. Our own Southeastern governor, it's high time you avoided this kind of political statement to maintain your position. It's good that your position is taken away from you because you are fighting to protect the people. You will win. Posterity will live to remember you. Don't govern, and as soon as you end your tenure, your life is ending. Your memory ends. There are many governors that governed our states. Their memory are negative. They are not remembered for good things they achieved. Why is it that today we still talk about Governor Sam Mbakwe of blessed memory? Because the legacy, none of the living have been able to overturn the legacy of Mbakwe. A governor that was there always crying for his own people, not for his own personal gain. A governor that established so many factories, helping the poor, the masses, to have job. I don't know how much job opportunity you guys have created. Rather, we have always been receiving promises upon promises without fulfillment. During the campaign of Governor Hope Uzodimma, or for his second term, he made a promise of taking our youth to Canada and UK. But none of those promises have seen the light of the day, to the best of my knowledge. But if it has happened, I've never seen. That is what we are talking about. Promises or promises or promises, the fulfillment becomes a problem. I also want to be your record. It was at the failure of the government that introduced the proliferation of firearms in the system in Nigeria. Where on earth will you see people who are manning the cattle, holding AK-47? How come, to the extent, the same AK-47 was introduced into Southeast? Because the recent news we're hearing about people who were sentenced from the north happened to have transaction with Simon Ekpa, who was Beru the changer, who was changing money for them from dollar to naira, other hard currency to naira, and who was also smuggling arms for them to operate in the Southeast. It is as a result of the failure of the government to protect the borders. And this is what we are saying. If the government did not fail, this ammunition we are seeing in the hands of civilians can never happen. So we want to use this video to call on our governor. Please, as a matter of urgency, sit up to your duty. Please, as a matter of urgency, stop more of people who will impose themselves on the people and decide to be whatever they want to be on the people. If you do your duty very well, we will not record many people who will impose themselves as the savior. Many may understand what I'm saying, but this is what I think is the truth, that the governors should do their duty. There is a continuous fear that what is happening in Benue might happen in Southeast. What measure are you putting in place to let us know that if such a thing happens, we are in a safe hand, the governors? There is still speculation that the Fulanis has invaded all our territory. What are the measures you are putting in place to convince the people that if it is true, that you guys are equal to the task? If there are no measures, if such a thing if you cannot give us your assurance, I'm afraid men and people will decide to take the laws into their hand. And the anarchy we witness, the insecurity we are witnessing, will become the order of the day. Dear governors, please give us a sigh of relief. We are tired of losing our beloved one in the hands of people, in the hands of people who shouldn't have done it. We also know and hear that most of you guys are responsible for the insecurity, or you guys are being accused of being responsible for the insecurity. By the time you want to win your election, you empower your boys. It has been speculated. Can you just prove us wrong by arresting all those people that have one way or the other worked under your company, under your group, under your campaign team to give you victory when they started going extra mile? You know, one thing in this life, there are three things that makes a man to become something else, become a beast. see power, gun, and money. Some of these young boys are who have no record, who are nowhere to be found. Unfortunately, ammunition were handed into them in their hand. They turn a beast. Most time, the governors, you do that because you want to win election. And you forget the consequences that it might come up with. So I want to use this video to request and plead. We are tired of insecurity in Southeast. And we have also heard that these guys are coming, our enemies. That what is happening in Benue will be replicated in Southeast. What is happening in Kwara, Kontagora, Diocese, Niger State, it might be happening in Southeast. If it happens, what is the security measure you guys have put in place to protect life? This is my message for you. And I pray and I wish you will listen to this message. There is different for you to try to stop the resultant effect than to also stop the root of the problem. Stopping the root of the problem will be better than to want to stop the result of the problem or the consequences. Nnamdi Kanu is a mere consequences of the failure of the government. So it is your failure that gave rise to insecurity. So rise to the occasion. Come up with strategies to protect life and property. Give them assurance so that we don't have many more people who will rise trying to protect the people by themselves, or people taking laws into their hand. There was a time the Southern governor had a meeting in Delta State, hosted by Governor Okowa in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. After the meeting, a Professor Usman from Fulani extraction rebuked to you people and spoke to you people and asked you, why didn't you have a Fulani man represented in your meeting? Because your meeting was simply against Ruga. And they opposed your meeting. The decision of that meeting didn't see the light of the day. And this made everybody to conclude that you guys are working under the fear, under the control of Fulani oligarchy. Please, governors, prove us wrong. You can't sit as a governor having meeting. None of such a meeting was carried out. If they were carried out, we don't know. This is my message for now. Thank you and God bless you. Remain blessed.
Jovika TV, poised to reach you with the truth.